Hello, I'm Kim Hart, and thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. I am new to this platform, and a little about me. I am a native of Atlanta, Georgia, author of the book Part of My Truth, and my motto is the greatest story that you can ever tell is your own. God gave us all a story, and it should be told to encourage someone else. It's called a testimony. Now, this series on truth, it's focused on women who are dealing with underlying struggles of walking in truth and being authentic. So, whether you're married or single, young adult or older, we all have a story. And there lies a truth within each one of us that often goes untold. And although our stories are unique, each story has a depth to it that has either made you resilient or vulnerable in expressing and displaying your innermost truths. So, you either exude confidence in walking in your truth, or you struggle to break the resistance of owning your truth. And your peace, that sweet peace within you, cannot be reached. Now, I'm sure there's tons of reasons why we find it so hard to reach for peace. And it would take another series to explain all the reasons, but I can definitely address one of the reasons that I know from experience that causes us to draw back, and that reason is fear. Fear is an emotion, as we know, and fear has the capability to shut you down, leaving you fearful, because that's what the job of fear does. Fear steals your peace, and we know, we all know when we are experiencing peace, because when we are at peace, we have this clear conscience. Our spirit is quiet and we are at rest. But when we are not at peace, it's because we are wrestling with the issue of concern. And sometimes our concerns are more than what we like to share. So we don't share because we're afraid of opening up a can of worms, because we need to protect ourselves, and all these underlying issues stagnates us from reaching our full potential of being happy. And that's the goal, to live a happy life. When you're harboring feelings inwardly, those issues won't rest, and your peace will not be still. Healing is only going to take place when you end the battle with you. The last thing you want to lose is yourself, ladies. But women are struggling to maintain this image of being complete. I'm talking about being whole. But we're not whole because we cover up our pain with business, material things, outer appearance, and so on. And then we keep moving as though we're good, like just good. So we look good on the outside, but what's going on the inside tells a different story. And these issues of the heart can weigh heavily on you, like your past failures. Failure opens the door to insecurity. And insecurity will definitely temper. It'll temper with your self-esteem, especially if it's from pain, like the pain of divorce, or your relationship with your spouse, your family, your child, addictions, habits, decisions you made in the past or current. And each day you mask this pain with temporary fillers in life, that only lasts for so long, because it's just that. It's a temporary filler. It's a temporary fix, and it hides the reality of your truth. And ladies, let's not carry our pain for so long where it becomes a heavy burden, and it spills over into other areas of your life, like your relationship. It's not fair to other people, who don't understand your pain, to have to walk through something you're not attempting to fix. So most of the time, your pain will reflect in actions, in your actions. And when it goes unaddressed, the people around you become frustrated with you, because they don't know what's going on, especially again, if you're married, it can really take a toll on your relationship because it takes a lot of energy for someone else to try to reach your heart issues if you're not vulnerable, you know? Whew. If you're not involved, especially if you're not vulnerable to confront your own issues. You know, our lives is like a book. We all have a story, and our stories may be one that we don't want to share due to shame, guilt, or fear. And we definitely don't want to tell anybody about the ugly parts of our story, so we choose to suffer in silence. You know, we do choose. We choose to be quiet. And I'm talking about the women who are challenged emotionally because you're afraid to open your mouth and speak your truth because you are more concerned about what speaking your truth looks like on you and what you might lose in the process. And again, the only thing you lose is yourself. So ladies, protect yourself. Protect you, you know? When you're protecting you, you're protecting your mind, your will, and your emotions. And you have to know that you are worthy, and then you have to walk in your worth. You know, that's self-love all by itself. If you lose yourself, who else is willing to find you except for your loving God, who will never leave or forsake you? At least we have him. Even God says to love your neighbor as yourself. So that means, you know, you have to love yourself first. So stop being quiet about the issues that are affecting you and your quality of life, I should say. And, you know, today women are sick and committing suicide over silent issues. We hear about it all the time on the news. And the first thing we say is, oh, you know, I thought she was happy, or I thought that celebrity or whoever it may be was enjoying life. Why? Because that woman masked her pain in silence. So I'm encouraging you to take off your mask and stop masking your pain in silence. Lady, let's talk about this. You may not be suicidal, but you're dying daily on the inside if you're not being true to yourself about what's eating at you. You know, now it's the time to wake up and deal with your truth so that you can walk in freedom. I know because I have been there, done that. I wrote a book about it. So I know. Now, the title of my book is Part of My Truth. And in my book, I tell my story. I tell my truth. I was that woman who was dying daily within, and I grew weary over the years. So I started journaling. You know, write it down and make it plain. I had to get my mind right and get focused on what was my reality. It was time for me to exercise my freedom, you know, by walking in my truth. TRUTH, the reality under the hurt. I began to write down the deep-rooted issues that were troubling me so that I could see where I needed to edit and make corrections in my life so that I could move forward. And I was tired of being in the state of my mind, you know, in that whole state of mind that I was in. I was at the end of my road, guys, you know, the frustration of keeping my inward pain to myself. And my mask that I was putting on every day, even my mask was getting old, you know, and worn out. Yeah, you know, talking about masking your pain, not literally a mask, but you get it. And one thing I had to do was admit that I had issues of my past that I needed to come face to face with. And as I was freeing myself, it felt good. It felt so good to be free. I thought, oh my gosh, it was like coming out of shackles. And you know what? My story became my testimony of my strength. I found within the pain of my story so much beauty. And when you heal, you will find beautiful parts of your life that you never saw in your pain because you wasn't looking for it. Just wasn't looking. It took me 5 years to complete my book, you know, and all that time God was completing me. And within those 5 years of writing, I completely healed. My book was complete, and so was I. You know, so if you want to hear my story, get a copy of my book on Amazon, Part of My Truth by Kim Hart, or you can go to my website, which is partofmytruthbykimhart.com. So ladies, that leads me to say this. You have to be open. You have to be an open book first to yourself. Notice I keep saying the word yourself because everything in life starts with you. So if you start out not being true to yourself, you're going to create this facade that isn't true. And the sad thing is that you have to keep up with this facade to be believable to others. So when you put on a mask, always remember that you are performing. It's time to stop making everybody else smile but yourself. You can show your real talent when you choose to walk in truth and be authentic, the real you. You don't have to create this image of self-love when you have so many reasons to love yourself. And I'm here to tell you to stop trying to measure up and be approved by others, living for others, surviving for others, following others, because it's a hard act to follow. And that internal turmoil that goes on the inside of you has yet been attended to because these issues of the heart are buried beneath your strength. And it will drain you to the point where you will have nothing to pour out of and nothing to pour into. You will need a refill. So, where is this coming from? Where is all this hurt coming from? You. Again, you. You cannot depend on people to fill your cup at this time. At any time. You are a powerful woman. So please don't reroute your strength and place it in areas that are not fulfilling to you. Be strong enough to know when you have had enough, because enough is enough. What tears you down inwardly is going to expose you outwardly. So now, ladies, if you are one that can honestly say that you are in a good place and you are walking in freedom in your mind, will, and emotions, then do something good. Why don't you spread the love? That's what I'm doing. Don't be selfish with your bag of goodies. Take some time out to encourage your sister, your friend, your daughter, mother, whomever it may be, to walk in their truth. Women are dying on the inside due to hidden truth. And we don't want our sisters to hurt themselves before getting the help they need. If a woman presents her issues to you, take it serious. Listen to her, because she's probably at a point in her life where she's losing the battle with self-love. And we need to protect her mental health. So if you openly talk about your feelings, it will make room for someone else to open up with ease. Sometimes we have to open up and talk testimony, and it causes other people to want to release. We need one another. It's so important. So be authentic with your friends and loved ones. This is the opportunity to guide her down the path it took for you to get where you are. Be the blueprint, as I call it, a guide to her recovery. And it's beyond, and if it gets beyond your control, then guide her to seek a counselor. Just make sure she gets the help that she needs. Make sure she is good. We need to have each other's backs, lady. We are strengthened when each one reaches one, you see. You have to be like the alcoholic at the AA Anonymous meeting when they admit, I am an alcoholic. They are speaking their truth because they no longer want the effect of the alcohol abuse to be their story. Once you speak your truth and admit that you are broken in areas of your life that in your life that you are struggling with, you can begin to restore the broken pieces. It starts with stating your truth, because out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth speaks. What does it speak? It'll speak your truth. Just know what is hidden in your heart breaks the heart. You can only hold issues in for so long. Stop holding those issues in. Put your hand on your heart and say, let nothing live here that doesn't grant me peace. fear, unforgiveness, hidden truth, whatever it may be, cannot reside here. Now, ladies, own your truth and walk in it with dignity. Your past doesn't validate you. Stop fighting you and be authentic. And again, one of the greatest stories you can ever tell is your own. And I'll leave you with this until the next podcast. You only know who you are. You only know who you are when you are being authentic, the real you. And ladies, if you enjoyed this podcast, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, okay? So be blessed, and I will see you soon. Take care.